Cut them off. Level up. Shock the world. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk to you about transformation. About reclaiming your power, protecting your peace, and unleashing the version of you the world never saw coming. This is more than a phrase. It's a strategy for your glow up. There comes a moment in life when you realize that not everyone around you is meant to stay. Some people were only ever supposed to be chapters, not the entire story. But the longer you let them linger, the more they drain you of energy, focus, and even your sense of self. Protecting your energy isn't selfish. It's survival. It's maturity. It's understanding that peace is more valuable than popularity. And growth sometimes means outgrowing people you once thought you'd have forever. Cutting someone off isn't always about anger or drama. Sometimes it's quiet, even painful. It might be a friend you've known for years who now only comes around when they need something. It might be a family member who constantly belittles your dreams or throws shade on your success. It could even be someone who loves you, but doesn't know how to love you well. The truth is, love without respect, support, or honesty is just another kind of weight. And your future can't afford to carry it. A harsh reality, not everyone is rooting for you. Some people are comfortable when you're struggling because your light makes their shadows feel safe. They don't want you to level up because if you do, they'll have to confront their own lack of movement. And so they whisper doubts in your ear. They laugh at your ideas. They plant seeds of insecurity. But the most dangerous ones, they do it with a smile. That's why boundaries are necessary. That's why discernment is a skill. You have to learn how to spot the difference between someone who challenges you and someone who chips away at you. Between people who pour into your spirit and those who poke holes in your confidence. You've only got so much energy in a day. Why waste it explaining your vision to people who were never meant to see it? Cutting them off is not an act of hate. It's an act of clarity, of choosing alignment over attachment, of choosing your mission over someone else's comfort. And yes, it's hard at first. It might feel lonely, but what's lonelier than being surrounded by people who don't actually see you? What's more exhausting than shrinking yourself so someone else can feel tall? When you finally decide to protect your energy, you'll start to notice the difference immediately. You'll breathe easier, think clearer, you'll have more room for ideas, ambition, joy, and self-respect. And eventually you'll attract people who match that energy. People who don't just take, but also give. People who celebrate your growth instead of fearing it. So cut them off, not with bitterness, but with love for yourself. Not with revenge, but with vision. Because your peace is priceless. And your purpose? It deserves the full, undiluted, unstoppable version of you. No distractions, no dead weight, just elevation. Growth isn't just about adding new things to your life. It's about letting go of what no longer serves you. And sometimes, the hardest thing to release isn't a person. It's a version of yourself. The version that tolerated too much, settled too often, and dimmed your light to make others comfortable. If you're serious about becoming who you're meant to be, you have to cut off the old you. You have to shed the dead weight. The old you might have been the one who kept making excuses, waiting for the right time that never came. Maybe they were afraid to take risks, to speak out, to believe they were worthy of more. Maybe they played small in rooms they were born to lead in. They procrastinated, doubted themselves, overthought everything until the moment passed. And they survived, but survival isn't enough anymore. You're not here just to exist, but survival isn't enough anymore. You're not here just to exist. You're here to evolve. The old you was necessary. They carried you through the pain. They protected you when you didn't know any better. But now you do. And now, that outdated mindset, that fear, that self-sabotage, it's become baggage. And baggage doesn't belong on a rocket ship. You can't fly if you're still clinging to who you used to be. Elevation demands elimination. Letting go of the old you isn't an overnight process. It's a decision you make over and over again. Every time you say no to something that used to tempt you. Every time you choose discipline over comfort. Every time you rewrite the story in your head that says, I'm not good enough, and replace it with, I'm just getting started. That's transformation in action. That's how you begin to shed. It takes courage to cut off the version of you that others were comfortable with. The one who never set boundaries, who always put everyone else first, who kept peace externally but felt chaotic inside. But you owe it to yourself to be more loyal to your future than your past. You owe it to yourself to evolve, even if it means disappointing some people who were never truly for you anyway. You'll grieve that old version. That's normal. You'll miss the comfort, the predictability, even the drama. Growth can feel lonely. But eventually something incredible happens. You start to meet the new you, the one who wakes up with purpose, who moves with confidence, who doesn't beg for validation or apologize for dreaming big, the one who shows up fully, unapologetically, in every space they enter. That version of you has been waiting, not out there, but inside you, buried under years of fear, doubt, and playing it safe. And the moment you start shedding that dead weight, you make room for them to rise. So don't hesitate. Cut off the old you. Thank them, release them, and step into the bold, brilliant, unstoppable version of yourself. Your next level is calling. And it can't take the past with it. Leveling up isn't just about changing your surroundings. It starts with changing your mind. If your thoughts stay the same, your life stays the same. You can't expect new results with old patterns of thinking. That's why the real upgrade begins in your mindset. Because once your mind shifts, everything else begins to follow. Your habits, your confidence, your direction, and your standards. You have to start seeing yourself differently, not as who you've been, but as who you're becoming. That requires vision. It means looking past your current circumstances and seeing the potential inside you that's waiting to be activated. Too often we get trapped in a loop of self-doubt, waiting for external validation before we move. But real growth, it comes when you validate yourself. When you decide that your dreams are worth the risk, even if nobody else understands them yet. Upgrading your mindset means being brutally honest with yourself. It means asking, What beliefs are holding me back? What stories have I been telling myself about why I can't? When the truth is, I just haven't tried hard enough, stayed consistent enough, or believed deep enough. You've got to break up with your excuses. Replace them with action. Replace them with commitment. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It shows up anyway. And that's the difference between staying stuck and leveling up. People think it takes luck. It doesn't. It takes intention. It takes rewiring your thoughts so that fear no longer drives you. It means shifting from a scarcity mindset to an abundance one. From I hope to I will. From I'm trying to I'm doing. From what if I fail to what if I fly. You have to stop thinking like a victim of your life and start thinking like the creator of it. Upgrading your mindset also means raising your standards of how you treat yourself, of what you tolerate from others, of what you believe you deserve. You don't rise by lowering yourself to fit into rooms you've outgrown. You rise by leveling up your expectations and matching that energy with consistent action. High standards will filter out anything that isn't aligned with your purpose. And that's a good thing. Your mindset is your foundation. It determines how you handle pressure, setbacks, and opportunities. When your mind is strong, the outside noise gets quiet. You don't need to chase approval because you've already given yourself permission. You don't need to explain your grind because your results will speak volumes. And most importantly, you stop waiting. You start doing. You start becoming. So level up, not just in goals, but in how you think. Speak life into yourself daily. Invest in your growth. Read more, learn more. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, not just cheer for you. Your next level isn't about luck or timing. It's about mindset. And once that changes, everything else will too. Who you surround yourself with can either elevate you or drain you. That's why leveling up your circle is one of the most powerful moves you can make in your journey of growth. It's not just about friendship or loyalty. It's about energy, influence, and alignment. Because whether you realize it or not, the people closest to you are shaping your mindset, your habits, and even your belief in what's possible. You can have the biggest dreams in the world, but if you're constantly surrounded by small-minded people, eventually their limitations start to rub off on you. You start shrinking your ideas so they feel comfortable. You hold back your wins so they don't feel insecure. You second-guess your goals because no one around you is thinking on that level. That's why proximity is power. You become like the people you spend the most time with. So if your circle isn't inspiring you, it's time to reevaluate who's sitting at your table. Leveling up your circle doesn't mean cutting people off with no explanation. It means being intentional about who gets access to your time, energy, and thoughts. It means asking, do these people challenge me, push me, support me? Do they speak life into me or drain the fire out of me? The right circle isn't just about vibes. It's about values. You want to be around people who are hungry, focused, disciplined, and not afraid to call you out when you're playing small. It can be uncomfortable at first, leaving behind familiar faces, distancing yourself from people you've known for years. It's not easy, but growth and comfort don't live in the same place. If you want to elevate your life, you have to be willing to elevate your environment. That means putting yourself in rooms where you're not the smartest, most successful, or most driven person. Because when you're surrounded by people doing more, you start to believe you can do more too. Iron sharpens iron. Being around high-level people will force you to level up just to keep up. Their work ethic will inspire you. Their mindset will challenge you. Their presence will push you to become the best version of yourself. Not out of competition, but out of accountability. And the beauty is, real ones want to see you win. They don't feel threatened by your glow. They help you shine brighter. You deserve to be in rooms where your potential is recognized, where your voice is heard, and where your ambition isn't seen as too much, but as a sign that you're built for more. So don't settle for circles that keep you stagnant just because they're convenient. Be bold enough to seek out alignment, even if it means walking alone for a while. Because once you find your people, the ones who match your energy and multiply your vision, that's when the real elevation begins. There's a certain kind of power in silence, in doing the work quietly, behind the scenes, without the need for applause or validation. In a world that's obsessed with broadcasting every move, there's strength in keeping your head down and letting your success speak for itself. That's what it means to shock the world. You don't warn them. You don't explain your process. You just show up one day with results so undeniable, people are left speechless. We've been conditioned to think that progress only counts if it's public. But real growth happens in private. It happens in the early mornings when no one's watching. In the late nights when everyone else is sleeping. In the sacrifices no one sees. The discipline no one talks about. You don't have to announce your every goal or move. Let them doubt you. Let them overlook you. That silence, it's fuel. It gives you space to build without pressure, to make mistakes without judgment, to grow without distraction. Moving in silence isn't about being secretive. It's about being focused. It's understanding that the more you talk about your plans, the more you give others a chance to project their fears, doubts, and limitations onto them. Some people aren't ready for your vision, not because it's wrong, but because it's bigger than their perspective can handle. So don't waste your energy trying to convince anyone. Just execute. Just rise. When you strike, strike loud. Let your work hit different. Let your results echo in rooms your name was never mentioned in. When you finally pop out with that business, that body transformation, that creative project, that breakthrough, let it speak for the discipline, the consistency, and the resilience that no one else saw. Because that's the part they never talk about. The struggle behind the shine. The years of planting before the bloom. Shock the world not out of spite, but out of purpose. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. But sometimes your elevation is the only explanation you need. Let the doubters watch. Let the ones who counted you out try to understand how you turned pressure into power, how you moved in silence and came back louder than ever. And don't just shock the world, shock yourself. Because truth be told, you don't even know what you're fully capable of until you block out the noise, stop playing small, and go all in. You are your only competition. And every time you level up, every time you silence that inner voice telling you to quit, you're getting closer to a version of you the world isn't ready for. So don't talk, build. Don't boast. Grind. Don't seek attention. Earn respect. And when it's time, step out with something so strong, so undeniable, that all they can say is, how did they do it? That's the moment. That's the strike. That's how you shock the world. There's a point in your journey where it's no longer about proving others wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's about going beyond what you thought you were capable of, stepping into uncharted territory and realizing you've only scratched the surface of your potential. That's what it means to shock yourself. To wake up one day and see the version of you that fear tried to keep buried. To look in the mirror and say, I did that. Not out of ego, but out of pride, out of gratitude, out of growth. We will all have mental limits we've built over time, limits placed there by doubt, fear, past failures, and the opinions of others. These limits tell you where your comfort zone ends and where the danger begins. But growth lives on the other side of that line. And you will never meet the highest version of yourself if you keep letting those invisible walls define what's possible. You were not born to be average. You were not designed to play it safe. You were built with purpose, with fire, with the ability to rise beyond every limit, especially the ones you placed on yourself. Chopping yourself doesn't mean everything will be easy. In fact, it usually means doing what's hard, what's uncomfortable, what stretches you. It means signing up for the challenge when your mind screams, play it safe. It means showing up to the gym when your body is tired. It means staying focused on your goals when distractions beg for your attention. It means betting on yourself even when the odds seem stacked against you. What you'll discover is that the more you push yourself, the more your limits move. What once seemed impossible becomes normal. What used to scare you becomes familiar. That's how transformation works. It's gradual, often quiet, and always earned. And the best part, every breakthrough gives you more confidence to keep going, to keep evolving, to keep surprising the person you used to be. And it's not just about physical or external milestones. Shocking yourself can also mean healing deeper than you ever thought possible. It's breaking cycles you were raised in. It's choosing peace over chaos. It's walking away from what you used to tolerate and raising your standards for everything. Your mindset, your relationships, your time, your purpose. When you finally realize that the biggest obstacle is not your environment, your past, or the people around you, but your own belief system, that's when the real shift happens. That's when you take full responsibility for your life. And something powerful clicks. You no longer wait for opportunities. You create them. You stop playing small. You start becoming relentless. So push yourself, surprise yourself, shock yourself, not because you have to, but because you can. There's a version of you that you haven't met yet. A version that's bolder, stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. Go find them. Go become them, and when you look back, you'll be amazed at how far you came. Not because someone believed in you, but because you finally did.